Hey, the fourth time's a charm. I'm gonna just, whatever comes out, we're rolling with it. We're gonna post it. Progress over perfection, right? Anyway, hello, how are you doing? My name is Malika. I am a spiritual and emotional wellness advocate, teacher, consultant, and guide. I posted a video recently about how your dreams want to come true and how I had this deep insight and revelation after dealing with the sweet basil plant. Well, that plant is not done teaching me yet because I have a phase 2 part of the process. Probably as my thumbnail, or I'll put it somewhere in the video around here, a picture of the basil plant as it is as of last week. And you will see how much it's grown compared to the temporary pot that it was in, which was much smaller. And like I said, I'll link the video below. So if you haven't seen that one about your ideas want to grow, you can check that out. This one is going to be phase 2 of that video, or step 2. It's kind of like a progression, but interconnected. And that is about making space for your dreams and ideas. And there's a couple different ways that we can make space. The aha that came from this is that once I repotted my sweet basil, as you see in the picture, the before and after is crazy. The basil just like took off and probably doubled in size. And so just similar to the plant, right? Like our ideas and dreams need space to grow and thrive. And so there's a couple of different ways that we can create space. One is of our time. So at some point, when it's time for your dream to grow, for you to be clear in your energy and intention of it growing and blossoming, you have to set aside some time for it. And even if that time is on your calendar, everybody is wired differently. So some people may benefit from just making space on their calendar for that dream, even if it's 30 minutes a week and you do something different around it each time. But the intention and the action of making that space is powerful. Another way we can make space is by saying no to commitments, obligations, and things that don't fill us up, aside from like work, right? So in our free time, that is a powerful way to just set time aside, is by not engaging and overextending ourselves, so that we have the time to meditate on our dreams and we don't get so distracted. A friend of mine and I were talking about the first video, and he brought that up as it was a really good point about sometimes we can get so distracted, we lose our focus, or we get so busy that we lose our focus and lose sight and connection. So that's one way to create space. Another way to create space to allow your dreams to grow is physical space, right? So with the plant, of course, I created more physical space. And some people do that symbolically with altars. You can create a physical space, or creating a vision board, or just creating a space in your home that's representative of you creating space in your life for this idea and this dream. And, a lot of people will also do this in feng shui. It's creating that physical space and intention, and which way you want your energy to flow. The third thing, and this came to me in the wee hours yesterday morning, in creating space, is having to tend to and weed the space. And what I mean by that is weeding emotional energy and or beliefs that are incongruent with your idea and your dream. So what does that mean? So if you have a dream of doing something, sometimes when we plant the seeds, all these other weeds will show up, like self-doubt. You can't do that. Who do you think you are? You don't know how to do that. So those are the beliefs that will reveal themselves, as well as, emotions can come up: fear, anger, frustration, overwhelm, when we start thinking about our ideas and our dreams. So those are the weeds. And despite how it can feel very maybe overwhelming, that's actually part of the healing process. And the reason these are weeds is because they drain energy away from the dreams and ideas, just like weeds in a garden, right? Like we pull those weeds out because they can drain the resources and the minerals from the soil that we want to go towards whatever we have planted. That's cool, right? I was like, oh, that's deep. And so I've been using that in my own life. And I think creating a whole different video, if you all are interested, about the weeding out process, right? Because we could normally, if you're familiar with gardens and weeding, which I'm still learning, but there's two ways to deal with weeds. One, you can just cut off the top, right? So you don't see it. And in a way, that's a bypass. That's ignoring, pushing through, denying, these emotions and beliefs that are counterproductive to the ideas and the dreams that we want to fulfill and manifest in our lives. So one way is just cutting out the weeds so we don't see it. But you know what happens when we do that? Those roots are still there, and those weeds will be back up in the next 2 or 3 days, because we haven't dug it out at the roots. And so there is a process, some of which I'm still learning about how to like dig things out at the roots. And it's a process and it requires vigilance, just like it does with your garden. Like you can't just weed one day and say, okay, I'm good for the whole summer. Like it's a process of continually checking for weeds. And in creating space for our dreams, it's a process of continually weeding out beliefs and emotions that aren't in alignment with the growth and the direction that we want to go. So if you'd like to hear more about that, please let me know below. And I'd also love to hear your processes of weeding out, if this resonated with you, with the space and creating space, in the 3 ways to create space: creating space with your time, creating physical space, and creating emotional and mental space by weeding out things that are draining and not in the same direction and energy that your ideas and dreams are. So that's it for now, but I'd love to hear from you. I'm open to sharing some of my learnings on the weeding out process, and it is a process ongoing. Um, and I hope this has been helpful in some way. Take good care. Many blessings until the next time. Bye.